Hello there guys, welcome back to my channel for finally a new video on this channel. I'm sorry, it has been weeks, it has been, well over a month now, and I'm actually really sorry. I think it might actually be 2 months at this point. And that was not the plan. The plan was to release at least one video on this channel a week, but then midweek games started for Chelsea, and of course with Blues TV and uni and, everything around that, and then just other things happened family-wise and, just private life, I guess. It just happened, and then I just didn't find the time, and then I was out for so long, and then I just wanted to come back with a good video, not like some not half-assed, but as in like an idea that I wasn't 100% happy with. So I didn't do a video even when I could a couple of weeks ago. And now we're here, because now at least I think I've come up with a decent video idea, a decent thing to talk about, to make a proper video about. I hope you agree. And of course, if you're new to this channel, please be sure to subscribe. If you unsubscribed in the last few weeks because I just haven't done anything on here, please come back and subscribe again. That would be massively appreciated. Obviously the consistency needs to be here, but ideally, I will really try. I will try my absolute hardest to get that consistency going and then keep growing this channel, reach the 7K subscribers, 8K, 10K, and then wherever we get from there, while of course doing my thing on Blues TV as well. So like I said, if you are new here, please be sure to subscribe, drop a like on this video, that'd be great, and of course leave me all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. But now let's just get into it. You can of course tell by the title and the thumbnail what the video today is going to be about, and that is why Chelsea, in my opinion, can make top 4 this season, possibly even will make top 4 this season, and especially what actually changed my mind. Because, if you watch my videos both on here, on my podcast, to which the link is, by the way, down in the description, or just my content over on Blues TV, before the start of the season, even at the early beginnings of the season, I said there is no chance we are making top 4. There is no chance, and we shouldn't expect it. And that wasn't me being pessimistic. That was just me at that point, my realism. I thought, yeah, we have to accept that this season. We lost Hazard, we have a transfer ban, we're playing a lot of young players, and you can't just expect them to kick on, really. Like, you can't expect that from the young players, whether that is Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount, Hudson-Odoi when he comes back from injury, Ruben Loftus-Cheek when he comes back from injury. And then to make things even worse, we had all of those injuries. But at the same time, all of those injuries are part of the reason why I actually think that we can make top 4 this season. Now, let's just get into it. You can see the table on the screen now. Liverpool and Man City, they will be the top 2. Let's just, accept that as it is. Even though we're close to Man City right now, they will be the top 2 at the end of the season. Liverpool at this point strongly, looking the favourites. They will probably win it, which would be a little bit disappointing. But I guess it is what it is. Those 2 will be the top 2. But then coming to 3rd and 4th, who will play, for those spots, I guess, towards the end of the season. And in my opinion, that's between Arsenal, Tottenham, ourselves, Chelsea, and let's be honest, also Leicester, even if that does sound a bit crazy that Leicester could actually go for top 4. To be honest, I personally don't think Manchester United will have much to do with the fight for top 4, which makes losing 4-0 to them at the start of the season even more annoying. But, I think it's between those, I guess, 4 teams. Now, Arsenal are ahead of us currently, as you can see on screen, obviously. But while we haven't picked up points, when we should have picked up points, from what we deserve from our performances, but then just bottled it or just made mistakes so that we didn't pick up points, like against Sheffield when we drew 2-2, when we just should have won that game. Even against Leicester when we should have been 3-0 up after like 20 minutes. And again, as crazy as it sounds, even at United we should have picked up at least 1 point, even though we lost 4-0. And I know it sounds crazy, but we were the better team if you look at that game as a whole. And Arsenal, on the other hand, have picked up points when they shouldn't have. That 1-0 draw at Watford. And Watford are, dead last bottom. Watford absolutely battered Arsenal in that game, especially in the second half. And somehow, because Watford can't finish to save their lives, Arsenal got away with a point. And it's like when they just beat Bournemouth. Bournemouth at least deserved a point from that game. So Arsenal managed to secure points that they maybe didn't deserve, while we didn't secure points that maybe we did deserve. And of course, things can change, and that could be, turned, completely around, which then would be good. Or we just finally start picking up the points that we deserve, and they don't start picking up the points that they deserve, if that makes sense. So, they just get what they deserve. If they don't play well, they don't get the points. That could happen. Or it could just say the exact same. But performance-wise, so far this season, I would strongly argue that we've been better than Arsenal, even though we're, a couple of points, a couple of spots behind them in the league. And coming to Leicester, yeah, they are good. They're a really, really good team. The only area where I personally think they're lacking a little bit are the wings, and possibly a backup to Jamie Vardy. But let's be frank here. Like I said earlier already, we should have been 3-0 up against them within like 20 or 25 minutes, when we played them, and then in the end drew 1-1. Yes, I know, towards the end of the game, we were slightly fortunate to even still pick up a point. But if it's 3-0 after 15, 20, 25 minutes, there's no chance we're losing that game. So it's that kind of thing, and I know ifs don't count, but it's true regardless. And coming to Spurs, I mentioned them in the fight for top 4. They're impossible to predict right now, because if they don't get out of their current problems, getting battered 7-2 by Munich, then losing 3-0 to Brighton at the weekend, or before the international break, I guess, losing Lloris to a awful elbow injury. But if they don't get out of their problems, whatever is going on behind the scenes, everyone has heard the rumours. Don't know whether they're true. Personally, don't think they are, but you never know. Pochettino, is he leaving? Is he staying? Will he be sacked? We'll have to wait and see. So they're impossible to predict at this point. But if they don't sort themselves out, they're not in the discussion for top four either, personally. But they probably will sort themselves out, and they probably will be in the fight for top four. And don't think any of West Ham, Palace, let alone Burnley, will have anything to do with top four, even if they're up there right now. But the biggest reason why I think we can make top four this season is ourselves. Not because others are so bad, but it's ourselves. Of course, them not being particularly great helps, because if Arsenal, Spurs, United were all really good and close to Liverpool and City, then I still would say, obviously, we're not making top four. But that's not the case. But the biggest reason is ourselves, and especially our consistency, our lack of consistency, I should say, so far, and also injuries. Of course, in theory, we could remain inconsistent all season long, and we could keep, having injuries, but the likelihood is that the injuries will sort themselves out, and so should, in theory, their consistency. I mean, that is for various reasons. Now, in Conte's second season at the club, for example, I wouldn't have said the inconsistency would sort itself out, because that just wouldn't have made sense. We had an established team, no youngsters really in that team, and also the same manager as we had the season before when we won the league. So nothing really would have suggested, okay, the inconsistency will stop, because we didn't have the inconsistency the year before. But now we have a new manager, a very young and inexperienced manager as well. And even more importantly, we have an extremely, extremely young team with a lot of players that have never been in a lot of the situations that they've already been through this season. So they will learn from those things. They will both improve on the pitch, just technically and in everything as a footballer, but also their mental situation when stepping onto the pitch will be different the more and more they experience at this level. So that will and should, sort out that consistency, the inconsistency as we, I guess, go along. And, also, what comes into it, I mentioned the injuries. Quite a lot of people seem to have forgotten how good Ruben Loftus-Cheek was last season and how important he was to our great end to the last season, because obviously he didn't play the Europa League final, but he played a huge part in getting us there. He played a huge part in us ending up third in the league table in the end, and he was just so crucial to us, and so many people seem to just forget about that. Once he is back from injury and fully fit, hopefully without any repercussions from the injury, he will be, and I mean that, he will be our best and most important player, full stop. I know N'Golo Kanté. I know how good he is, and I love N'Golo Kanté. But I think once Ruben is fully fit, he's our best player. He's the best player in that team. Yes, of course, it could be Callum Hudson-Odoi in a few years' times, but Hudson-Odoi is 18. So, it's a bit different to the situation Ruben is in. And yes, I do think he is that good, and I do think he is that important to our team and to our success. But also in other positions, injuries. Azpilicueta and Alonso, as decent as they have been in the last few games, Emerson being back from injury, as good as he, especially with how good he was before, he picked up that injury. He was our best player, arguably. At least one of our best players at the start of the season. And then also Reece James on the other side, of course, picked up another injury away with under-21s with England. Not a serious one, and he should be back in training this week. So we'll have to wait and see whether he is available for the Newcastle game on the weekend. But as good as Alonso and Azpilicueta have been, it's nowhere near the same as it is when, especially Reece James finds his feet properly, gets going properly, and Emerson as well. It makes such a huge difference in our team, and, I think we'll just score more points. In tight games, those two, Emerson and Reece James playing over Azpilicueta and Alonso will be, or can be, a difference maker in us picking up 1 point, picking up 3 points, or picking up 0 points. I think that can make a big difference. And also, Antonio Rudiger. I don't personally actually think that Rudiger is the solution to our defensive problems, not at all. But I do believe that in the games when we're kind of struggling, when we're just making mistakes, he can be very helpful in just giving his teammates their kick up the arse, because he's a leader in that sense, and he's bit more of an imposing and threatening guy, I guess, than like Azpilicueta or a Jorginho is. It is just like that. And he can be helpful in that sense. Of course, his aerial presence is really good. He's, Zuma is just as tall and, probably can even jump even higher and probably just, he is physically stronger. But Rudiger is just a bit better at timing his jump. So also in the air, Rudiger could actually be of a bit of help. But just generally, him being back will make a big difference in my opinion. And then also the youngsters, of course. Well, I personally was one of the few people that actually believed in Tammy Abraham. And I mean, before the season, I said on my podcast, that he should be a starting striker over Olivier Giroud and over Michy Batshuayi. I mean, I will admit I didn't think he would bang that much, but I did say he should be a starting striker. But, 9 goals already this season is mental. And if he can keep going anywhere like that, anywhere near like that, of course, there's a huge difference compared to what I expected before the season when I said there's no chance of us finishing top 4. And to be honest, the same goes for Mason Mount, really. I knew that he would do well. I knew that he would, but I didn't think he would do that well, especially when played out of position on the left wing constantly. You can't expect that. He's so young, and same as Tammy Abraham. They're so young. They will improve not just over the years, but they will improve over this season. And I know some people have been criticising Mason Mount already this season, which to me is silly. He's just been nominated for the basically the Young Player of the Year award. The worldwide one. Forgot what the Golden Ball that is. He's one of the top 20 nominated players in there, which of course is great, and congratulations to him for that. Considering some people say, yes, no technical ability, that's just silly. His press is ridiculous. His technical ability is very, very good. He's a good finisher. Yes, he needs to work on some things. The kid's 20. You can't be expecting him to be absolutely perfect yet. Also Hudson-Odoi, who's on, 160k a week, 180k a week, 200k a week, however much he actually is on, because we don't know for sure. He's not perfect either, and he's 18. So you can't use the wage and saying, Mason Mount is on 75k a week, so he should be perfect. No, it's not how it works. He's 20. He will improve, but they will improve. Also will improve this season. And just mention Hudson-Odoi, also he will be a big difference why I personally think we can make top 4. I thought he would be important when he comes back from injury, but the impact he has had now that he's back has actually been ridiculous. I mean, he needs to sort his finishing out a little bit, but I think that will come over the next few weeks, and he's just been absolutely banging. The pace he gives us, the strength he gives us on the wing as well, and just the directness. And obviously he's had 3 assists in 3 appearances already, and one of them was, from the bench. So, you really can't complain about Hudson-Odoi at the moment, and, he will be having a huge impact, the fitter he is and the longer he's in the team for, I guess. And of course, also players like Willian, who, especially in the last 3 or 4 or 5 games, was outstanding. Now he has a little bit more freedom. He said that in the interview himself. And of course, he has more freedom now because he never had that freedom before, because Hazard had the freedom. And you can't have both wingers with complete freedom. You can't have both wingers completely roaming around all the time. But unlike for Hazard very often, not always for Hazard, of course, but unlike for Hazard very often, it seems to, at least anyway, as if anything, motivated Willian to work even harder than he always did anyway. Yes, he still throws his drops here and there when he just moans at teammates on the pitch. And people can not like that attribute to him. But that's just the kind of guy he is. You cannot like that. Some people are like that. Some people moan more than others. His work rate in his last few games has been absolutely ridiculous. And if being trusted more, being told by Frank Lampard, I just want you to be happy, and being given more freedom and playing as well as he did these last few games, if that then makes him work even harder, that is ideal. And then we can have a big, big season from Willian. We'll have to wait and see how that goes, but it could be a big, big season from Willian. Jorginho, another one that could just be big. Not just the youngsters, the experienced players. He was already very good last season, in my opinion, but he's clearly starting to adjust more to the Premier League, and it's just playing outstandingly well so far. Christensen also has had kind of a bit of a rejuvenation as well this season, even though he hasn't always played. But whenever he's played, I've literally never had a problem with Christensen, really. And of course, there is N'Golo Kante. Yes, he's played a few games so far this season, but never at 100%. Missed all of pre-season, basically all of pre-season anyway, and has picked up multiple injuries along the way as well. Had the ankle problem, had a hamstring problem. I think it was a hamstring problem. Now has a bit of a groin or adductors problem that he picked up with France now, even though he was on the bench last night but wasn't a used sub. So we'll have to wait and see how serious that injury is. We'll find out more in Frank Lampard's press conference on Friday. But once we get N'Golo Kante 100% fit, we need to actually now give him a little bit of rest, even if it harms us for the next few games. He needs that rest now, and he needs to be fully fit for later on in the season, because we need him. And once he is 100% fit, there will be another huge step up that our team can and will take. And if only most of those things that I just spoke about come true, I actually firmly believe that we will make top 4. Actually, if all of those things come true, I actually think they will come third behind City and Liverpool, or Liverpool and City, because at this point you have to think Liverpool will win the league. Of course, chances are not all of those things will come true. Obviously, we have to be somewhat realistic still. So it will still be a fight, but I think Frank Lampard and the lads can actually pull this off. And a month or two ago, I would have never said that. I would have said there's no chance. But, we've trusted those young players so far, and they've delivered. Mason Mount with 4 goals. Tammy Abraham with 8 goals in the league, 9 goals overall. We didn't expect that necessarily from them, not this much. And it's great. And now the older players like Willian and Jorginho are pulling along as well. Christensen doing well. Reece James coming back. Emerson having a great start to the season. N'Golo Kante once he's fit. If all of those things work, we have a really, really good team. And Ruben coming back will be so huge. I don't think most of you understand how big of an impact Ruben Loftus-Cheek will have on this team. And you know, I think we could make this happen. And to be honest, if we actually get top 4 this season with this current situation around the team, transfer ban, losing Hazard, new manager, so many youngsters, that would be remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. And I wouldn't mind a league or FA Cup alongside that, but top 4 by itself would be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But to be honest, that really is it from me. I think I'm going to leave it there. I think the video is, you know, long enough as it is. Of course, I do quickly want to touch on, of course, disgusting and vile racism, you know, incident. No, is incident even the right word? Probably not. Just everything that happened around the England-Bulgaria game last night was disgusting. And it's a difficult subject to talk about, especially for me as this white kid over here. Obviously, it's very easy to say, oh, you know, bad racism. When, well, I say obviously, but when I've never experienced it and probably never will because of the, you know, tone of my skin. And that is ridiculous. You know, what difference does it fucking make what colour your skin is? Like, you know, are you going to have a go at me because I don't have blonde hair? Like, no, obviously not. No one cares what hair colour anyone has. So why do we care about fucking skin colours? Stupid. Absolutely stupid. But yeah, I did just want to touch on it at least a little bit. But yeah, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there. I will leave it there. As I said in the beginning, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. That would be massively appreciated. Drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it, especially if you made it this far. Please be sure to drop a like. You know, just go down below and smash that like button. That'd be sick. And of course, you know, leave me all of your thoughts on everything that I mentioned down in the comment section below. Do you believe that Chelsea can make top 4? Let me know. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea. And I'll see you when I see you.